Hey team, Patrick here, and in today's lesson we're going to talk about the forehand, and this is going to be for all you beginners out there that are just getting started in tennis. So this isn't going to be for everybody, but it's what I teach if you were coming for your first lesson with me, and it's going to get you having success straight away. So let's get into it. The forehand is anything on the dominant side of our body, and we're going to use one hand. So starting with the grip, I'm going to teach you what we call the Eastern forehand grip. And the easiest way to find it is to place the palm of your hand against the strings and run your hand down to the bottom of the grip. Your hand is on the side of the racket, and it's as if you're playing tennis with your hand. So if I open up my palm, it's facing forwards in the same direction as my strings. It's as if I'm shaking hands with the racket, and the bottom of my hand is lined up with the bottom of the grip, and I've got a relaxed grip on my racket. So we've got our grip, bit of tennis terminology for you here. We're going to go ahead and put ourselves on the baseline. Now you can do this from the service line, which is the line across the middle of the court, which might be a little bit easier when you're first starting off. We're going to be in an open stance. I'm going to be facing the net, and we're going to place the racket at the contact point, where we want to contact the ball, which is going to be at the side of our waist and just in front with this Eastern forehand grip here. My racket's straight up and down, and my strings are facing the target. We're going to want to start from the contact, as this is the most important part of the swing. And if we start adding in these backswing elements at the moment, we're just going to lose control of the contact, and we're going to end up hitting balls too high or down into the net here. So from here, from the contact, the swing is going to be to drop a ball in front of you, and after one bounce we're going to push forwards until we finish with our racket over our shoulder. We're going to want our elbow facing down to the other end of the court, and the back of our hand is going to turn over to face our opposite cheek. And we're just going to repeat this until we get comfortable joining these dots from our waist to our shoulder, from the contact to the finish. This is going to get us used to starting our swing once we contact the ball and not stopping once we hit the ball without a follow through, which is one of the biggest mistakes I see players make. It's our strings facing forwards towards the target that controls the direction of the ball, and this upwards, low to high swing path that lifts the ball over the net. So I don't need to twist my racket open when my strings are facing up, and I don't need to swing straight forwards towards my target. Now, if you were doing this from the service line and you've started to have success, you can now slide back to the baseline here, and you're going to repeat the same swing. I see coaches, and it's almost like they can't help themselves. They start with beginners like this, and they start adding in more and more complexity to the swing. Whereas today we're going to keep the same simple swing. We're just going to try and do it in more complex situations. As beginners, we don't want too much information. We're just going to get used to the contact point and the finish. Now from the baseline, we are going to need to add a little bit more speed, a little bit more power. And if we start to use our body naturally, intuitively, kind of pushing from our hip here and rotating, that's great. We want to develop this relationship between our arm and our body, and it's our body rotating that helps us pull the racket all the way through to the finish. And everything we've done so far in this lesson, you can do on your own, just like I've been doing here. But the next progression is to do it on the move. We don't just want to do it in this static position here, as tennis is such a game of movement. So I'm going to have a partner or a coach or even a ball machine, if I've got access to one, feed me a ball in the corner so I can turn to the side, so I can run to the ball in the regular way. I'm going to play all the way from my waist and my shoulder up and through, and finish all the way with this same simple swing path that we've already developed to control the ball. And the final progression is going to be to do it out of a ready position. So this is going to be an athletic position where my feet are a little bit wider than my shoulders. I've got a bend in my knees, I'm on the balls of my feet, and I've got two hands on my racket. I've got my forehand grip, and if I relax my arms, there should be about a 45-degree tilt in my racket here. As soon as I see the ball coming, I'm going to make this turn to the side. We call it a unit turn. And the turn of my body is going to be my backswing. So I'm going to have a small to big swing. I'm just going to place my racket where I want to contact the ball. So I'm going to set up the shot, then I'm going to move, then I'm going to play, and then I'm going to recover back more towards the center of the court using these side steps here. I'm going to want to find the same contact point that we were talking about earlier. So I'm not too close, I'm not too far away from the ball. I'm in this comfortable position. It's like I'm shaking hands with the ball, or like I'm opening a door. If I was sort of adjusting the steering wheel of my car, it's in a comfortable position for me here where I can play up through the ball and then relax that finish over my shoulder with my elbow pointing down to the court and the back of my hand turned over to face my opposite cheek. You can also think about sort of when you're practicing this, holding your finish so you can sort of check for these checkpoints and that you are finishing on balance. Now, I know it might not look like Federer at this stage, but this is going to give you a really good foundation to build on. And in the future, we can start to look to add more power and speed. And I'm going to do a whole sort of beginner series. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. Give the video a like and share it around to any beginners that you might know, or anyone that you know is looking to get started in tennis. And I'll see you on court in the next one. Cheers, guys.